He's the guy I pull the pin on and roll into the room to see what happens. So he's the middleman. He's a countryman exiled in Dublin. He's from the West Coast, and they're traditionally much more backward looking, say, Dublin people are. But he has to wade into the immigration issue in a big way. He's been promoted out of his murder squad. He's an actually international liaison officer now. So it sounds highfalutin, but he's continually pulled back into the local. The glamour has to fall apart very quickly. All the new police training has to fall apart, and it has to rely on the investigator, and that's where he comes in. He's an amalgam of my father and the father of a boyhood friend. Men were a great mystery to me. They were very quiet, not great talkers, very stoical, deeply humorous, very wry, like my father. And I wanted to make a person who was like that, sort of well wrapped up, or as I call him, a very heavily armed introvert, which is what I am. And I thought, well, let's give this man a little place in the sun, because he's your, I describe him as a nondescript middle-aged white guy, but he's basically a grenade disguised as a middle-aged man. We don't call them police officers, cops, guards. They're always, well, they were unarmed, we used to say, but their tongues could peel paint. It's become a much more vicious society in Dublin, so there are a lot more armed policemen. Cops are very cued in Ireland. They listen to a lot of stuff. They know what's going on, and that's the key to solving crimes. Like the whole forensic stuff doesn't mean anything unless you have a smart cop, a smart investigator. I call him an invigilator, like in an exam. He's watching all the time. And you wouldn't know he's watching you, like he wouldn't be looking at you. I have two friends in the police. I won't mention their names. One is a sergeant, very well placed in current matters, a lot of drug enforcement, and we go drinking, which is not to say we go to excess, but we hang out in the Garda Club and he spills the beans. And he comes up with the usual phrases like, my name should not be mentioned in relation to this matter, in a kind of mocking way. He keeps me up to date on the argot and the slang and the current grumps of the guards. I'm a very optimistic person. Strangely, obviously, the happier I get, the darker the characters get. Because I think you're pitching or projecting situations into books that you couldn't stand to put up with yourself. And for all the glory and glamour of Ireland at the moment, like, there is a very dark side to it. Irish people don't say either or, they say, well, yes, and. So I guess I'm reflexively reacting to Canadian kind of, what I would call blandness, forgive me, by putting more darkness into it, that there is depth and grit and pain to life. Over here it's like, let's go shopping. The dark side is the true side, and that's the side that we have to hold to the light. It's also maybe a Catholic thing, that the closer you get to the great crossing over, the darker one's thoughts. But day by day, myself and the character Minogue, they're much more optimistic, carefree.